Get ready.
Alton Towers is an unusual theme park in that it was built on the grounds of an old castle and gardens. This very fact feeds into a lot of the park's hidden gems, as the area's history and heritage makes up much of the park's theming. While the park is famous for its world-class roller coasters like Nemesis, Wicker Man and Oblivion, there are many more subtle details that make fans come back year after year. In this list, we're going to outline our top 6 Alton Towers Hidden Gems. Get ready. Number 6. The Corkscrew at the entrance. Beginning with the least hidden of all is the Corkscrew coaster track right at the entrance to Alton Towers. The story of this may not be a secret to fans of the park, but it's interesting for new guests to learn. This piece of track was part of the famous Corkscrew roller coaster, which operated in Alton Towers from 1980 until 2008. Upon opening, this roller coaster was incredibly popular and put Alton Towers on the map for the general public in the UK. Alton Towers would be overwhelmed with guests trying to ride Corkscrew, and the ride would see queues of over 6 hours. Due to deterioration, the coaster was beyond refurbishment and Alton Towers opted to remove it in 2008. By this point, the park had opened 6 more roller coasters. All were very popular and Corkscrew was no longer the draw that it had once been. The area is now home to 13, another very popular coaster in Alton Towers. It's nice to see the resort honour their history by keeping the main part of Corkscrew's track as the park entrance, even if guests can't ride it. Number 5. The Chained Oak. There's a legend in the area of Alton that contributes to one of its attractions, Hex, the Legend of the Towers. The story goes that the Earl of Shrewsbury was making his way back home to the Alton Towers castle when an old beggar woman stepped out onto the path and asked him for money. He ignored her and she put a curse on a nearby oak tree, stating that every time a branch fell, a member of the Earl's family would die. Following a fallen branch and a subsequent death in the family, the Earl ordered his servants to chain up the oak tree. This was done in order to prevent any further branches from falling. If you're familiar with Hex, you will know that this story is told in the pre-show, and you'll see a chained up branch in the climax of the ride. But did you know that there really is a chained oak just outside the grounds of Alton Towers? Some may believe that the story of the chained oak was created for the purpose of the ride, but this has actually been a folktale told in the local area since the 1800s. About a 20-minute walk from the park entrance, you can visit the chained oak yourself, located deep in the woods. Given how long the chains have been on the tree has begun to grow over the chains. This is an eerie place and one of the most authentic Alton Towers hidden gems. Number 4. Haunted Hollow. Alton Towers is a huge park and full of paths and walkways to various areas. One of the best of them is Haunted Hollow. The path leads from the central lake area to Gloomy Wood, home of Jewel, the haunted house strikes back. The pathway is filled with statues, headstones and crypts. Some may rush along to get to their favourite rides, but we recommend slowing down and seeing what makes the path such a great hidden gem. The pathway was less frequented in the past, but with the opening of Wicker Man in 2018, other paths have closed. This makes Haunted Hollow the main pathway to get to Forbidden Valley and Katanga Canyon on foot. You may hear 2 headstones speaking to each other if you stop and listen. Grumblebum and Mutterson are known for grumbling and muttering to each other. There are also some graves of old musicians, and if you step on their grave, you might just hear them playing their instruments. You'll also find a magic mirror, a crypt you shouldn't look in, and many other statues who will speak if you listen close enough. All of the spirits and ghouls in Haunted Hollow seem to have something to say, so take a stroll through here on your next visit. Number 3. The Gardens. Like many old castles, Alton Towers has garden grounds that guests of the theme park can explore. If you veer off the path to the left of the central lake, you will find yourself in the ancient gardens of Alton Towers. These gardens are still very well kept and are one of the more unique hidden gems found in any theme park. In these gardens dating back to 1814, you will find a pagoda fountain, cast iron garden conservatories and a Swiss cottage. The cottage was once home to a blind Welsh harpist who would perform for the Earl. The gardens have been open to the public since 1860. This is a great place to take a break from the hustle and bustle of the park and have a picnic on a nice day. For its serenity alone, it's one of our favourite Alton Towers hidden gems. Number 2. The Planetarium Projector. In the queue for Oblivion, you will pass through a couple of indoor and outdoor sections before reaching the ride itself. At one indoor section, a circular building houses a large mechanical object that you will walk around before continuing along the path. This is lit by strobe lighting and adds to the ominous tone of the queue. But this object is actually the projector from an old Alton Towers attraction, Planetarium. The Planetarium operated from 1973 until 1987. It was actually inside the towers themselves in the central chamber of the house conservatory. Guests will be given a 6-minute tour of the universe, narrated by Sir Patrick Moore. The projector was in the middle of the room and projected on the walls all the way around. What's curious is that there was an 11-year gap between the closing of Planetarium and the opening of Oblivion. What was the projector doing in the meantime? It makes you wonder what else they're hiding in their vaults. Number 1. The Towers. Last but certainly not least is the castle itself. It's not exactly hidden, but many guests may not know how accessible the towers actually are. That's the real hidden gem. Alton Towers Castle lies right in the heart of the park and it's hard to miss. It's the first thing you will see when you enter the park. Curious guests will find that they can actually make their way into the ruins of Alton Towers Castle. Each room has a plaque indicating what the room was used for back when it was a residence. While the castle has fallen into ruin since the 1800s, some features are well preserved. Fireplaces and windows throughout the towers are in great condition. Alton Towers are now doing their best to preserve the castle in its current state, but still do allow guests to explore the ruins. You can even make your way up onto the roof of the ruins. Certainly a far cry from other theme park castles like those found in Disney parks. This offers great views of the surrounding lands, and you may even spot some of the attractions peeking out above the trees. If you enjoyed this video, check out our Attraction Graveyard episode exploring defunct rides in Thorpe Park. That's on screen now. That concludes our video of Alton Towers Hidden Gems. Now you're ready. Do you know of any other hidden gems in this historic park? Be sure to let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for new weekly content.